It's still Monday, February 7th. I just wanted to record this because I thought it was important. I think everything's important. I was just so as I was waiting to move my car, I mentioned that sometimes I stay in my car to wait for the Super to pass by right before I park. So I was using that time to reflect and read and finish up work, and so I got a message from one of my friends. I had, I'm letting I have friends. I have a very close knit friends and people I trust, and no soy muy amiguera, so. Yesterday I did a lot of connecting with family. I hadn't, it's funny because the videos that posted, recently over the past few days are the videos where I'm reflecting on high school, and I had that dream, right? And I have that confession that, this old colleague of mine, had that vision as I was saying my last goodbye to her because I was leaving the agency, and how she mentioned that her vision of me being, the one, or the way, and so that video posted yesterday. But I was reflecting on the high school part, and just thinking about, this issue that I had when I was dating in high school, and these were like people that it was really a short period of time. It wasn't something that I was really completely invested in. I was just dating just to date, it wasn't something like I was searching for someone. Initially, I wasn't. Yeah. And I don't know if I mentioned, like, even when I dated my ex, I dated him, that whole process too, wow, I'm getting like other memories. So he's a year older than me, and it was his senior year. He was graduating. I was part of ASB. I was in charge of the posters, right? And I was commissioner of something, and basically in charge of the school posters, right? And I had delegated like who did what, and blah blah blah. And so we had to like decorate, right? Put posters for the seniors that were graduating, and I was there, and I remember he finally got the courage. He had attempted a few times before to get my number, one with his friend and one with him, and I never heard from him. So I was just like, oh okay, whatever, right? And so the day of graduation, I knew a lot of seniors. I was a junior, and I knew a lot of seniors. I was going, and I was, because of ASB, had to be there and to prepare and then clean up after, right? So I went to say, congratulations to all the seniors that I knew, and he comes up to me and he asked for my number again, so I gave it to him. But again, not thinking he's gonna reach out. And he finally did that summer. I remember being shocked. And I remember he thought I was white. Like he straight out thought I was white. I don't know if I shared that in another story. My mom answered, and my mom, she had been taking English classes, so she spoke to him in English. So he thought we were Caucasian and white. And then, I was really light skinned, so I remember he told me, like, I thought you were white. And why is that story even popping up? Oh, I think because I was just thinking about high school. Oh, the investment in relationships, and so even with him, I remember it took forever, like, for him to even hold my hand. I was like, good Lord. I was really impatient. And yeah, I made the first move. But I remember with him, he wanted to get married after the first year of dating. And I was like, hell no. Because I didn't believe in marriage. I didn't see myself having children. And I didn't want to give him the expectation that was part of my plan. And I straight out told him, I'm like, no. My mom had always instilled in me, like, get your degree, make sure you, and I knew her story, and not being able to finish her career. And I was just like, no, I'm determined not to do that. Why is that story coming up? That's not what I wanted to share. What I wanted to share was, okay, that's what it was. So I used yesterday my mom. That's why I'm thinking about my mom and my dad, and I connected with them yesterday, and just hadn't seen them in a while, so I just kind of did that whole FaceTime thing. And just thinking about my comment about how the people that I dated, I wanted to make sure that they treated their mom well, because for me that was like a reflection of then how they would possibly treat me. If they treated their mom well, they would treat me okay. But anyways, I think that was just triggered from yesterday. But so I told my mom yesterday, I was like, I started a new channel. She's like, oh really? And I said, yeah. So I sent her the link. So I've been slowly sending people that I know the new link to the new channel. And I sent it to my friend who, he was the one that he's been taking the photos of me. He took my first like headshots, and then when I turned 40, he did those. So I reached out to him. I said, hey, I just want to let you know that I'm putting this together. So he responds this morning and he put, oh, it has an air of professionalism. And it stung a little. It totally stung a little. I was like, oh. And I know he didn't mean it in a negative way, but then I just remembered too thinking like, that was something I had struggled with when I was putting it together was right, just the struggling of like, I see Christina Lopes, I see all these other people, like I follow Therapy in a Nutshell, I follow all these other people that have this professional like YouTube and also this other part of their business, and there's a sense of professionalism, right? But like this, oh, expert, like so feel to them, right? And for some people it makes sense. And I remember struggling, right? I think I shared a video where I was trying to record the first few videos and just imagining Christina Lopes and just seeing, right? Just the visual pieces of it, and then realizing like, oh, this doesn't feel like me. It's too formal. It's too scripty. It's too, right? And then when I recorded that first one on healing versus coping, I liked it in the sense of just like, it was more relaxed. It was more me. It was, I even, like how at the end of the videos where I kind of lean in and turn off the camera, like I like that piece of it because there's this element of like, transparency and just being genuine, and it's like, hey, this is my living room, because I'm recording it in my living room, so it's like literally this element of like, I don't want it to be too professional, too detached from individuals, right? I want to still maintain that level of comfort and transparency, and this is me, right? This is who you're getting, and not too formal or professional, right? So even though I had come to that agreement, like that's how I want to keep it, still very in an element of informality, is that a word, to it, right? Because I don't want it to seem like I'm selling someone a car, because I'm not, right? This is just information, tips, take it, take what makes sense and leave the rest behind type of thing, right? But when he said it, there was a little sting. I was like, ooh, I felt that. And then I sat with it for a little bit and I was like, okay. And then reminding myself, Yubi, that's what you wanted. You just wanted to give it un aire, right? An air of professionalism. Not, because he mentioned, he's like, oh, you integrated the headshots from the ones he took. And I was just like, yeah, I did. I wanted to, you know, give it a little bit of like professionalism, but not this formal, like, I'm an expert guru, you know? Like, no, that's not me. And so, but it just that realization of like, Yubi, this is what you wanted. That's exactly the type of response you want, right? Don't forget. You just want to give it a whiff of, yeah, I know what I'm doing. And it just reminded me of a conversation that I had with my client where she was sharing about Freud. And she's like saying stuff like tidbits, information. She's like, you've heard of that, right? And then like, and she kept repeating it. And then finally I was just like, all right, time out in our session is what I told her. I was like, I have a confession. So I told her, I was straight up honest. I'm like, look, I'm gonna tell you how it is in terms of where I come from, because you keep asking me if I know these tidbits of information, and I'm not gonna sit here and lie to you and pretend that I know when I don't. So I said, I know enough to, I did what I needed to do to get by in school. I did what I needed to do to get my license. And then I was just like, here's my story. And there's a reason why I'm telling you my story. And I told her, I was like, I don't want to be a therapist. Far from it. Like, I had my own stuff that I was dealing with. How was I going to deal with other people's trauma when I was struggling with my own? And then I said, but I did my healing process, and it turns out I'm really good at it. And I know what I know. I know enough to do my job well, is what I told her. And I said, and at the end of the day, all of the therapists, regardless of what information they learned in grad school, they're only going to focus on therapeutic models that is in alignment with them and what makes them feel comfortable in practicing. And then I said, and on top of that, it's really based on what you're needing as a client, is what I told her. So all this Freud stuff, yes, I vaguely remember, because this is like 14 plus years ago, right? And so I'm just like, I know enough, but I'm not going to sit here and say, yeah, I do know what you're talking about, when I really don't. And I just want to be transparent with you. And then she's just like taking it all in, and then she's like, that's probably what makes you a good therapist. She said, your transparency. And I'm like, this is who I am, right? This is who you're getting. And so again, that got triggered in me as I'm reading this comment from my friend. This, you know, she's giving me feedback. And so it all ties in together, right? So anyway, so I was just thinking about it and laughing and feeling the sting, and then reflecting on my client's comment, what I shared with my client, the transparency that I tend to be, you know, with my clients for the most part. You know, I feel them out, and I kind of see what they're needing, and I'm very, you know, I'm a Gemini. I can mold myself, right, in terms of what is needing of me. But because I've done my healing, I can now know how far to do the self-disclosure without losing myself, without monopolizing the situation, right? I do it intentionally. And so with this particular client, it was just to be honest, because she kept saying, oh, you know, Freud and this and little tidbits. And I'm like, look, I know enough, but I'm gonna be honest with you and tell you I don't. And this is why, right? Because at the same time, there's an element of still securing the therapeutic relationship enough to where there's a level of trust, right, in the process with me as her provider, and letting her know this is where I stand. But at the end of the day, and I stress this with her, the end of the day, what's most important about this process is what's important for you, what's meaningful for you. Interventions or not, right? Therapeutic modalities or not. At the end of the day, what is in alignment with you? That's what's important. That's the biggest takeaway from this experience. And then she's just like, that makes sense. That makes sense. I said, okay. So there we are, right? And if anything, it's just strengthening our relationship more. She's being more open and vulnerable and transparent as well, right? Yeah. I just wanted to speak to that because I felt the sting, right? My triggers, I felt the sting, and I had to sit with it. And I was like, he didn't mean anything bad about it. Yubi, this is the type of comments you want, right? This air, and I was even thinking about it too, and wanting to reword some of my language, right? Where I'm not saying that I'm an expert in an LCSW, but more of like, it's my experience, right? Holding this degree, providing the services that I provide. It's just the experience of it. So I need to go back and tweak some of the words from that. So it's just my experience, and I'm just combining all of that together, right? Making it more digestible and meaningful. So that, again, the purpose is just how you view yourself in your healing process. That's it. Is if you're able to view yourself and the healing process in a different way, you're going to be more open to change, right? To do the work. Yeah. Okay. 15 minutes in. I need to go wash and do homework. And yeah, so that's all. Alright, take care. Bye. Hi, my name is Yubi, and in case you haven't figured it out, this footage is capturing my experience as I learn to navigate my personal spiritual awakening. I am learning that this experience is unique to each one of us, in whatever way we believe we are embracing living our truth. This just happens to be my journey. And despite me having a graduate degree and a license in clinical social work, this by no means is intended to replace any type of mental health advice. This is just me on a personal level, documenting my experience, shedding light on the truth that I am learning and discovering for myself, and really inviting you along for the ride. If by some magical chance you find this content to be helpful in any way, shape, or form, please click the like button, share the message, subscribe to my YouTube channel. I have an Instagram account, a personal one, and one specifically for this channel that you're more than welcome to check out. I'm an open book. I have also created t-shirt designs. I'm wearing my favorite one right now, which is the North Node design, but I have that and other things that you can look at inspired by this process and journey, and I have the link in the description box as well as in the about section of my YouTube channel. So you're more than welcome to check those items out. Any type of support is great. Again, if you find this content really helpful or meaningful, sometimes when we take that step and be vulnerable, with showing what's inside our hearts and what's really our truth, we realize that we're much more connected than what we thought we were. And so I hope that as I'm living this experience, and that you find some type of truth for yourself, or find some type of ability to heal in some way just by relating, just by knowing that you're not alone. That really has been my goal with this process, not just being able to connect with others, but really for my own healing. It's definitely been a therapeutic experience and a very creative one for myself. So I thank you, and I wish you all the best, and we'll see what else comes next for me.